Welcome everyone, it's favorite Dragomar. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. Let's see if we can make a miracle happen. Of course not. Of course it's Templar. Well, the real question is, do I want to hatch this? That's the real question. Well, I got some stuff assembled. That was what we like to call unfortunate. Because then I have to make a bunch of decisions. Decisions I would not like to make, but have to make. Because we're losing CVC. I can say that straight up. But I'm just going to have to eat it. If you're wondering why I'm weeding all this out, it's because I have too many of the same. Way too many. And some of these are not that valuable anyway. So we might as well turn them into more food for the next rank 6. Because yes, I have to farm all tomorrow. And I have to farm... It's a whole bunch of stuff I have to farm. You guys haven't even get to see the amount I have to farm. Or what I have to farm to get even this far. Because then... like, it's a lot. Alright. It's, it's more than I really want to share. The amount I'm actually going to have to farm. Let's just do some tag. Try to ease off the pain of hatching another Templar when I don't need one. I already maxed one. And he's only really useful for Bommel. That's the bitter part about it. Like, he has some uses in other content, but for real, he's mostly for Bommel. His one divine use is Bommel. That's it. That's what he's for. That is literally what he is for. See, I could hatch the other one, but it'd be a bit of a waste because we're losing. That's the issue, see? We're losing by a very significant margin, so I don't feel like I want to waste that resource. You know? Because I don't see me closing this gap unless one of my mates decides to pull. Maybe Slumberjacks. Maybe one of these other guys. Any of them. One of these nut bars has to pull their weight. I mean, I'll be doing more on here, obviously. But one of these other guys has to do something before I really want to go ham, you know? If they're not going to go ham, then what's the point of me going ham with them? We have to work as a unit in order for me to want to do that. Like, I'll keep farming. I just don't want to blow my only legendary fusion for a CVC that doesn't seem to be, the cards just aren't lining up. You know? Like, I have to wait. I'll just burn it next time. Because it takes a long time to get those fragments. It really does. It takes a long time to get those frags. So I don't want to ruin that. Like, I'll burn the rest of it, but I'm not ruining my only legendary assembled fusion. 82. Oh, I already hatched her, right, a while back for another CVC. Yeah, she's right here, Gerda Bogbrute. What does she even do again? Debuff spread's not bad. Weaken, poison. Cannot be blocked or resisted. Placing poisons. That's a lot of poison. Huh. I thought it had something to do with heal reduction. But no. It's more poison. So I can make some kind of poison explode team? Is that what you're telling me? Weaken poison. Yeah, the heal reduction thing I think is gone. I think they changed the champ. Okay. Well, that's odd. Where are we in the, okay, I have given her some scrolls and Minotaur. Good old Sepulcher. She's actually quite a looker, especially compared to Gerda Bogbrute. Like, look at this physique. Nice physique. Nice face, nice physique. She's a little, she's like real hot, actually, for a Knight Rev. Think about it. Most Knight Revs are incredibly ugly. She's really pretty for a Knight Rev. Think about it. When you're rotting in the ground, are you really gonna, are a lot of people gonna be really this hot? Even the ladies? Yeah, no. I didn't think so. Yeah, she's a looker. And she's very powerful, too. Like, these skills, really nice. Now, I may be helping out this man. Although he's not as much of a looker as the previous one, he actually is, he's very powerful. So there's that. But even more powerful is a guy that's not, well, I will be using him, but this man, he's not the best looking guy, but this guy is a big deal. Like a really big deal. People in the know that I could have very well maxed this guy over Sepulcher if I didn't need more defensive measures as a backup. I will be looking for Maneater tomorrow. Don't you worry. But I wasn't going to pass up maxing out Sepulcher any longer. I've been delaying that and delaying that and delaying that. Okay, first things first. Actually, yeah, let's just not kill Castigator. As tempting as that is. Who do I want to destroy? Yeah, we're going to destroy these two. Actually, let's just destroy the people I know that are not useful. Okay, let's first check out Diabolist, our Diabolist, who I'm pretty sure is lurking somewhere in my vault. I'm pretty sure. Yep. I'm pretty sure she's lurking somewhere in my vault. Well, guess what? Yup. I can do it without killing her skills off. We will eventually max her. It is true. Not tonight, though. If I'm going to max another champ, it's going to be 150%. It's going to be Geomancer. I know you guys are both, but, what about, is it marked pretty? Sometimes I have to put power over beauty. And although Geomancer may not look as good as mismarked, he has a lot of power. Okay? Like a lot of power. So, because of that, we're putting him a higher priority. Because sometimes power is more important. Okay, she's already upgraded all of her skills. Figured. I figured. Any vermin lurking around in my vault that would be good for upgrading? Maybe Sachi? There's an argument. But again, Geomancer just like overarches over all of them and is like, you do know I'm here, right? Like, that's the kind of thing with Geomancer. And the thing is, I can't argue with that because Geomancer is a big deal. He just is. I may never get him again, number one, so feeding him is out of the question. He is insanely powerful. Yeah. He's as good as most legendaries. Better than some. So, yeah. We're going to be making food for him. To potentially raise another Geomancer. Which sounds insane, and to a degree it is. I also did some ridiculous things in Skyward Sword. I beat a boss that previously mentally cracked everyone that faced it, and then I beat the boss first try. So, like, that in itself was, let's just say that was insane. I don't know who I want to kill. Whatever, I'll throw a chicken in. Because, yeah, there's a lot of decisions to be made whenever you're making food. Who do you want to clean out? And who do you want to keep? I still have to look at who is worth feeding. Because there's a lot of decisions on that front you have to make. Constantly. It's the constant keep or feed. And it's a constant tug of war, by the way. I just want to point that out. Until the very end game where, you know, we're not there yet. It takes a very long time before you're finally into the phase of I've got all the champs built that I want, or I don't need this and this. You know? Like when you can be certain of everything. We're not at that point yet. Surprisingly. Because it's a very... The amount of champions in Raid is both a weakness and a strength. And it's very difficult to master it. And not many have. Because you really have to make a lot of decisions. Some champs are just shoo-ins for food. Like these guys, for instance, incubuses. Very common, uniform, dark in color, unmistakably food. Like, they're very unmistakable, and yet they're also worthless for anything but food. So, because of that, they're pretty useful for that, So yeah, if you're wondering why I'm doing this, I'm making space also for a vast opening of mysteries. Because it's a long road to where I want to be. And I'm not opening those 2 voids until tomorrow. There's boosted voids or something. Or another boosted summon besides Ancients. Um... Good thing that energy fuel thing's coming up, because we're going to be running dry again. Because you may not realize this, but it takes a lot of energy fuel to takes a lot of energy fuel to do this. There's always a lot of decisions you have to make. I mean, I could make another War Maiden, but like I said, Geomancer's a bigger deal for a lot of advanced, like, clan boss shenanigans. I am surprised that didn't hit. I'm doing this to clean up quests, if you're curious, because I know that I want to try to clean up the quest before tomorrow, because stuff's going on. It's just a fact of the matter. I need to clean up some quests. Because at least I need to prove that I can do that. 79. Unfortunately, we aren't going to be getting any rewards from this, probably. Which stinks, but it is what it is. These, the eagles are very, ferocious. Very ferocious. So we made our rank 5 food. Now you might be wondering, Vaporsmith, what's the scheme behind this? Or more, well, we'll show a little bit of it. Not much, because obviously it's going to get to your brains. Because this process is mind-numbing. So what we're going to do to make this a little bit more fun is we're going to do a campaign-style roaming thing. We might just include AOX into the equation, because AOX is going to be useful later. Geo and Aox. Because here's the bitter other truth about this whole thing. It's going to take a while before Sepulcher is even mildly capable of doing the job. But this is basically what I'm doing. So basically, I'm running good old Bellower through here, giving these characters what they need, and then running them, cycling them back through the campaign. And then doing their gear. Thankfully, see, Geo can't really do his job yet. And the problem is I can't really focus too much on him yet because in the end, we have to try to focus on one character's building because one or two, because the problem is if I spread myself too thin, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. And that's why, generalistically speaking, I'm going to check to see if I can ascend her real quick. I might end up having to book her again. I still don't know. I might just do the whole gauntlet for the heck of it. The reason I'm using Bellower is to minimize the time it takes to go through Brutal, make it a smooth experience. I could go to Nightmare, I just don't feel in the mood, and I need to raise some food, and I know that rhymes, but what else? Oh well. But yeah, it looks like they had some good luck on my shards, and I had some bad luck on mine, so there's that, and my clan wasn't willing to go all in, so we lose. That's basically how it goes. Does not mean that there isn't a lot of other opportunities for advancement in other games as well, and that does not mean that I haven't made some progress with this. I definitely have, because I helped Dur the Hungerer and Sepulcher, and both of them are going to be big in my next team comps. We still will need to do the bosses, but I'm not doing them the shortcut method. We've got that on a 3-turn cooldown, which is not terrible, has to be said. Although I might mix that with a Painkeeper, or maybe like with the Demetha Sepulcher. That could be an option. Demetha Sepulcher Taragi. Something like that. All right, we'll start with that and then progress from there. Okay, that's 500. That's cool. Cool beans. Okay, that's only got that. I think I'll save it for another time, because I know it's going to take a while to level that. At least we got that to 80k, which is nice. We're going to hatch some of these. Problem is, most of that is just food that we're going to have to just raise at some later date. Yes, all of them are maxable. Am I going to max those champs? Probably not. Am I going to try to focus on the other account tomorrow? Probably. Because it needs help. And so does Aox, but not today. Because we've got to... Because I've got to make some decisions, right? I've got to make some decisions. And they aren't easy ones to make. Because in the end, I'm going to need a lot of silver anyway. And not all these champs are crazy. Like, all these food champs, they aren't worth much. Like, in terms of their raw value. You have to make them worth something. Be worth something. And even then, they'll never be as strong as the real McCoys, the legendaries, and the epics. So there's always that to keep in mind. As we fight our way through the lizards and she experiences, Sepulcher experiences the climb. Because she's got to experience the climb before she can get into the big pit. You know? Mashald continues to evade me, unfortunately. As does every other legendary on the planet right now. They're all seeming to be allergic to me. I'm not sure why, but hey. But you know who else is allergic to me, and I'm really annoyed about it? Miscreated Monster. Now, Oathbound, as it turns out, and I did some research, Oathbound and Missionary, Oathbound is actually a buildable champion, and he's okay. Missionary's pretty damn bad, and I'm not going to be building him unless he gets a buff. So yeah, Oathbound, of the ones that I discovered, Oathbound is probably going to be the one. You know? Galcut, I'm not going to try to max him right now because he's not essential to my plans. And I know that sounds blunt, but he's not essential. So, to my plans right this second. He'll be okay in Bommel, but I'm not focusing Bommel and exploding Bommel right now, like really fastly exploding Bommel, is not my priority. Although, he could be good for a Dark Fae team. He could be. We could experiment. Because I haven't tried it. I have not tried it. Because, yes, I am trying to win. Well, not win, but you know what I mean, right? You know, to win on my own terms. I'm trying to win this on my own terms. It's not easy. I have been farming food all day, and I still don't have... Well, I've been interrupted sometimes today for other non-gaming events. So understand that there's that involved as well. Otherwise, I'd probably be at 100k by now instead of 80. But even at 100k, I still don't see it. Like, see, I could hatch Gerda, but I doubt that's going to give me the edge. Like, it would be a legendary, but it's only 30k. We're not within hailing distance. I would need significant good things from my team before attempting that. That's the issue, ultimately. Because me going all in is a combination of factors that I have to factor into the equation. And when the factor is not right, the factor's not right. And I don't have I didn't get like 2 or 3 legendaries or whatever. I didn't get any of that. I didn't even get a legendary from shards. So because of that, I'm not in a position to win. So that's why I'm trying to win other ways on my own terms. Using the backup champs like Sepulcher and Geomancer. Untouched by death passive. Can finally give her a banner. Gloves. I may just give her those offense gloves. Those are probably my best gloves. For her, anyway. Crit damage 12 is like... Crit damage is not really her most wanted stat, is it? Or crit rate. I mean, that could be useful, but does that give enough accuracy? Because I sense that her accuracy is rabouche. But then that's HP 10 resistance. Or no, that's resistance. I mean, resistance would still be good, but which one's got accuracy to it? Not that one. I swear I saw something with accuracy on it. I might end up using that one. As maniacal as that sounds. Just for now, I'll be using that. Because it's got accuracy in it. So, moving on. Because I gotta realize I have some dream champs in here. It may not be exactly the dream champs I was looking for, but I do have some. So I just have to try to avail myself of them. And start leveling food for some of them. You know? Because in the end, I have to focus on one or two champs at a time. Right. Like, I don't want necessarily to focus on... But yeah, it's a journey. This is not going to be simple or quick or easy. This game. That's just how this game functions. I'll beat another boss, and then we'll call it a night, but not before I set up some auto shenanigans for the night. because, you know, I've gotta learn. I've gotta learn how to do it. I've gotta learn how to assemble the Dream Squad. Because there is a Dream Squad I want with Sepulcher, Occult Brawler, and Drexthar that I can make. And there's another one with Geomancer and Sepulcher on the same team. But I'm just going to have to skulk it through, you know? Sure, it would have been insane to get a Mashald, obviously. Or any of those boosted legendaries. Any legendary would have been great. Or even a freaking miscreated monster would have been fantastic. I mean, Oathbound isn't the worst thing. I mean, Missionary's bad. Just straight up bad. I'm not going to feed him because in case of buffs, but if it wasn't for that, I probably would just feed him if I knew that they wouldn't buff epics because he's literally that bad. But yeah, Oathbound has a use. Or that, and I don't know whether or not to feed epics, like, because epics do different things. But most of the time, like, if he didn't have some other value, like right now in his current state, he's not buildable. He's like almost like noble, but worse. But Oathbound is better. Oathbound is better. I really wish they wouldn't make characters like that, but yeah. Because you always have to choose who to build and who to leave behind. You constantly have to make that choice. See, he's not as good versus bosses as he is versus waves on Brutal. Granted, I have just thought of a really dank poison team. The main problem is I'm trying not to spread my resources out too thinly. You know? Because yes, in the end, I have to focus on who I'm going to build and who I'm going to leave behind. I don't think I can get Sepulcher to 60 tonight, and I'm not going to attempt it. But that does not mean that I'm not brewing something. Now, to save my energy fuel and my sanity for the night, I'm going to put my major multi-battles first on the other account and leave the other last minute stuff for this one, obviously. Because it's my other account that's having some issues. It's just there's a debate of what I want to do. I guess I could go further. I mean, do I really want to do all the campaign tonight? Is the real question. Maybe I'll just do it enough to raise up the next set. Start preparing the next set. Because in the end, that's what I have to do. I have to prepare the next set. And then from there, then I have to make another 5-star. See, this is the real process of making 5 stars. It's brutal. It is brutal. Like, and here's the thing. I don't usually do it with this. I usually do it with the mind-numbing, I'm grinding Brimstone Pass to pieces. That's the usual process by which I do this. Now, can I go to Nightmare? Of course. Do I want to do Nightmare tonight with what's going on? That's still in question. We haven't gotten her to the level where I want to take her to Nightmare yet. Especially since I don't have Geomancer at 6. Because Geomancer is a priority of mine. Like, it's fierce because the thing is, you see, Sepulcher has both looks and power. That's the thing. She has an ugly name. Ugly name. But she's pretty. That's the thing it's funny about Sepulcher. She's got a terrible sounding name. But she is a great character and looks great. That's the thing. And she's a powerful character too. Just her name is ugly. Gonna keep going through the Palace of Arabia. Because believe it or not, she has a use. Sepulcher has a use. The thing is, I have to be careful because I can blow all my silver in one go. And I would rather not do that. You see, Sepulcher has even uses and stuff that you would not think she does, like Arena. There's a lot of other champs in here, including Tuhawk, that I know are good for Arena as well, but I had to make some decisions. And the problem is my clan boss team is not in great shape. That is something I'm going to have to fix. If you're wondering what that goat man is doing, the answer is he's food. Why is he food? Because he's not anywhere close to as useful as everyone else that I'm trying to build. And I can easily get him again if I need it. Which I don't need him right now, and he's easy to replace, so he's food. Sepulcher Sentinel is not easy to replace and is borderline a legendary champion, so she's obviously going to get the royal treatment. Likewise with Geomancer. Tur the Hungerer will get an okay treatment. He's a good champ. He's not as big of a deal right now. So he's not getting the full focus. Because believe it or not, I actually had to grind this lady from scratch to level 50, and only now am I taking her up the stages of stage 6. As we move our way through the Tyrells and the Apothecary, which I have a maxed Apothecary and a maxed Tyrell, I believe. I still think I need to build Tyrell better. Wait a minute. Oathbound? Yeah, I have him. Yeah, I just have not built him out. This lady I got once on my 3rd account once, and that account died. And it was very unfortunate when that died, because it also had my only blind seer. But at the same point, it still didn't get a man-eater to this day. No account I've had has ever gotten a man-eater. Or a Cernic, or anything with full team unkillable. I have never had a team with full team unkillable. Now, have I had a team with... That was a terrible 5-star boot. Okay. So we're going to leave this off with doing some arena squad stuff. Because I've been ignoring it and because it's part of the daily. Bomb did almost nothing. Okay, here we're going to want a little bit of a different approach. I don't know how this champ works, but I'm pretty sure if I can just do that, it should do the job. Right? Because I actually don't know how strong this champ is. Okay, cool. And the rest of the teams are really OP. But we're going to try one of them regardless and do the rest of it tomorrow. This, we're going to want some crazy BS. I have some other ways of tackling this, but this is my first instinct. Okay. Clearly, my first instinct was wrong. Clearly. But at least we got some of the arena out of the way for the morning. Right. And we got some clan XP, which we'll be doing some other stuff with clan XP. Each time I get 100 XP, see? Chip away at Yannicka. Get the top spot there. I'll take it. Where does that put me? 84K. I want 85 before the night's out, so guess what? Nah. Nah, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Right? We'll see.